How do you buy a coin before everyone else? Before it makes a crazy move? That's the question a lot of people in crypto ask themselves. They see a coin that has already pumped 50, 100, sometimes even 200%, and the first idea is usually, what if this is just a beginning? Maybe I should buy, maybe I should open a long. But this is exactly the moment when the crowd often walks into one of the most dangerous traps in the market. Because a sharp move up in crypto does not always mean strength. After a strong pump, many coins crash hard. And this is exactly the moments and the type of coins we look for, trade them short, and profit from the move down. And the results in our community show that in the current market, shorting after manipulative pumps is one of the most effective strategies. If you follow system instead of entering just blindly or randomly. That is exactly why over the last year and a half we have built a tool with a multi-level AI filtering that sends signals of coins where abnormal behavior appears and where there may be a potential short opportunity. In this video, I will show you how our AI screener works, why we focus specifically on short trades, what data you need to check before entering, what step-by-step algorithm to use, real signal examples from normal trading days, results from members of our community, and calculating of how much could have been made in one day by entering each trade with only $10 using 10x leverage. No fluff, only facts and the real mechanics, real examples, risks, and the clear action plan. My name is Dmitry Estanovez. Let's go. Let's start from the basics. Why can this strategy work in the first place? Because most coins in crypto go down, especially when we are talking not about Bitcoin or major assets, but about smaller coins where liquidity is much lower. In this type of market, price often moves not because the project has suddenly become fundamentally stronger. It moves because someone pushes the coin up, collects liquidity, triggers stop losses, pulls the crowd into positions, and after that the price sharply moves back down. So the trader's job here is not to predict the future. The job is to notice anomaly in time, check the key factors, and understand whether there is a potential for a trade. And this is exactly the problem the screener is designed to solve. Many traders still try to trade crypto using only classic technical patterns, triangles, flags, levels, chart formations, and beautiful lines on the chart. But the problem is that on the crypto market, especially with low liquidity coins, almost any chart pattern can be artificially created. That is why I less and less believe in some beautiful patterns on the chart, some patterns from the X that a lot of calls publishing, and I believe more and more in the real market data. Open interest, CVD, volume, funding, liquidity maps, and real-time price behavior. By the way, I already have a full video about the CVD, open interest, and about liquidation map, why liquidity often controls price movements. That's very interesting and useful video. Make sure to watch if you have not seen it yet. Here is what the screener looks like. It sends signals directly to its Telegram. Inside there are several sections and different type of signals, but in the current market situation, the AI screener that tracks manipulation has been performing the best. We trade these situations, all these signals from here to short. Over the last year and a half, we have managed to select the optimal filters for this strategy and build a system where every signal goes through several levels of verification. So we are not simply catching every coin that suddenly pumps. We filter out unnecessary noise. We look for situations where there is a logic behind the manipulation, where the liquidity map looks suitable, where there is a downside potential and liquidity that can be collected below. In other words, we are not interested in just any pumped coin. We are interested in situations where the price already looked overheated. The move may have been artificially pushed and there is a zone below where the price could potentially move next. Now I will show you a few real examples so you can understand how this looks in practice. And the most important thing, this is you can pause the video and check my signal from the day in yourself. I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want to show the logic and the real facts. You can see a lot of examples that day, but this is early morning signals. Let's take first example, B2W. The signal came in the morning at 7:19. So the screener showed a sharp move up in the coin and the approximate entry zone. On the chart I highlight this zone in yellow. This is not a direct recommendation to enter right here immediately. This is a reference area where you can start watching the situation carefully and build a position according to the strategy. And what do we see next? By the evening, the coin has dropped by around 33%. On this trade, I managed to take a plus 249% and using 10x leverage. So this was a full execution of our strategy. All 4 take profits targets were hit. About the strategy, just a bit later in this video. So this is gonna be a very useful information. The next example is Sky AI 1. Here, all the key factors aligned. There was an abnormal price move. The liquidation map looked suitable and there was potential liquidity below. So this was not just a case of the coin went up. There was a logic behind it. The price was pushed up, attention was collected at the top and the downside potential appeared. As a result, the coin moved by around 64%. On this trade, I managed to close all 4 take profits and the final result was around 370% using 10x leverage. Alright, so one more example, Manta. This is a very strong signal of a manipulation and the potential move down. So the most interesting thing here is that the signal came almost exactly at the top. So pay attention to how quickly the move played out. The coin dropped sharply within just a couple of hours. My final target on this trade reached 405% using 10x leverage. This is exactly why the screener was created. Not so you have to sit all day manually checking hundreds of coins, but so you can find situation faster. Much faster. Working with the screener is quite convenient. It's useful for experienced traders who need to fast ideas and market filters, but it also can be useful and helpful for beginners, because at the start the biggest problem in-house, you open the market and you don't understand which coin to watch, where to look for trades, which data actually matters. The screener helps narrow your focus. This is very important part, how you should work with the signal correctly. First, when a signal comes in, you do not enter blindly. You click the link, open the chart, and check the situation and see whether the signal is still relevant. Second, always check funding. If funding is heavily negative, it means there are more traders in short positions than in long positions. In this situation, you need to be especially careful, because the market can first squeeze short traders, collect liquidity above, and only then actually dump the price. But for beginners, it's better to avoid these situations. Third, if you only notice the signal an hour later, you must recheck it. A lot can change in 1 hour. For example, new liquidations may have accumulated above. The price may have moved too far from the entry zone. Open interest may have changed. CVD may already be showing a different picture. In that case, it's better not to chase the trade. Just wait for next signal. Fourth, the approximate entry zone is exactly that, approximate. Is not a single point where you should enter with your entire deposit. The ideal situation for us is when we see declining open interest, declining CVD, reasonable funding, and liquidity below. So if you want to understand this strategy more deeply, make sure to watch these separate videos about open interest, CVD, funding, and liquidity. And the fifth, risk management is the foundation. It's better to split your entry into parts. Do not enter the full position at one single price. Do not increase your risk after a series of successful trades, and always understand in advance where your stop loss is, where you take profit are, and how much you are willing to lose if trade goes against you. To answer the question, is the screener suitable for traders with a small deposit? I took all AI screener signals from 1st July 26 and calculated how much could you have been made by entering each trade with just $10 using 10x leverage. Signal X and Y, 23% of movement from approximate entry zone. Signal BTW 5%, beat 38%, and take a look. When signal came, this is approximate entry zone, and this is a huge movement. Signal based 9% of movement, Taiko 9% of movement. At 1 PM we got signal TNSR, and again perfect entry zone, and result 9% movement. But I did not count signals like this where the coin did not reach the approximate entry zone, so we just got the signal but there was no entry zone, so it also sometimes happens. Here again, if we don't have entry zone, we just skip the signal. The calculation strategy was the following. Take profit 1 is 3% of move. At this target, 25% of the position is closed. Take profit 2, 5% of move. Take profit 3, 9% move. Another 25% of the original position is closed here. And the take profit 4 is the final part of the position which we hold until signs of reversal appear. So the stop loss is a 15% move. And here is a full description of the strategy. Place video on pause and take a look at this. And here is what the final results looked like. So by entering each trade with only $10 using 10x leverage, the total result was around $71 in one day. Of course, this does not mean every day will be like this, but it shows that with a small deposit you can work systematically if you have clear tool, strategy, filtering and risk management. $71, and at the same time the screener subscription calculated per day cost many times less. Plus, this is not just a bot that sends signals. We have a Russian-speaking community where you can ask a question, discuss market situations, analyze signals, and see how other members are working. And the same community we're gonna build with you guys. This is gonna be a game changer, especially compared to some fake guru products on English-speaking market. Some people just starting and making the first trades. Some already understand much better what to look at, and this becomes a full environment where you can grow as a trader. So you always can learn something, ask questions in the chat and clarify details. Over time, we have built a lot of useful material around the screener. All the best, everything for you. The opportunity to purchase access to the screener appears from time to time in my Telegram channel. So next opportunity is coming very soon. So that's why I highly recommend you to subscribe my Telegram channel. Do not miss next chance to access a screener. And one more important point, if you pay for a subscription at the current price, you lock that price for yourself. Even if the price doubles in the future, your current conditions will remain the same. So don't lose this opportunity. Guys, we did not create this tool in one day. For a year and a half, we tested filters, studied which signals perform better, removed noise, added AI filtering, and tried to build not just a nice looking bot in Telegram, but a truly useful tool created by traders for traders. Join, test, and verify everything for yourself. Like, subscribe, and see you guys in my Telegram channel. Dmitriy Invest. See you.